What's going on, everybody? And we are logging on to episode 102 of the podcast. I am your host, Frank McKnight, and I am joined by my co-host, Luke Gans. Thank you for being here, my man.
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
We are doing this pod virtually, as you can tell. We're going to start doing more virtual pods more often, especially with spotlight interviews and just whenever we can't meet up together. So you'll be seeing more of these. But besides that, we got a good amount to talk about today. But before we get into the meat of the podcast, we're going to get into our Poll the Pod. So let's get ready. So this week's Poll the Pod is, Luke, we actually did this one when we did the first episode 102, but we're going to talk about it again real quick. It's, would you rather see your future or your past? This was a landslide. What would you rather prefer, Luke?
I think so. It's tough because I would love both. I think everyone would love both, but I think I would rather revisit my past, and I think everyone wants to see their future with how their life turns out and things like that.
Of course.
I don't think I want to know. I think part of the element of surprise of life is kind of how things work out and how things play and do that. So yeah, I'd love to know what I'm doing in the future and how many kids and this and that. That's great. But I think I'd rather just see my past and just kind of be it. It wouldn't change anything because I firmly believe everything happens for a reason. The subject to change. So that shit just happens. But I think I would much rather just be able to kind of just almost watch as a Ebenezer Scrooge, Ghost of Christmas Past kind of situation.
Yeah.
And just kind of vibe with me and be had a boy, or be yo, you're an idiot, kind of shit like that. But
yeah, I would 100% agree with you. I chose to see your past as well, basically for the same reasons. I like the element of surprise, and there's also a lesson learned factor that you're missing if you see your future. And it might not impact you the same way if you saw what was going to happen in the future.
Exactly.
And yeah, I wouldn't change anything in my past either, the good and the bad. You know what I mean? It was all lessons learned. And like you said, everything happens for a reason. But let's see what you guys voted on. We put this poll on Instagram a little while back. It was a landslide, like I said before, but not for the ones that we wanted it to be. 19 votes, which was 86% for your future, and only 3 votes, which made it 14% for your past. Hey,
Losers.
I mean, people decide what they want to decide to see. I think if people, this will definitely be a clip on the Instagram, but maybe we could change some people's minds with our perspective of how to look at this,
I think so. And, we'll see. Maybe that number's really 5 if we add ours. Maybe if we...
Well, ours was in there. So
it was really only one person. Sick. Cool. So,
yeah, so really only one person is right. Yeah.
It's probably a burner of ours. Great. Awesome. Good job, you losers. No, it's fine. I understand both sides of it, but I think most people just default to wanting to see the future and know what happens. And it's because we live in a time of everyone's impatient. So I get it. Everyone just wants to kind of know and do and consume. And that's why I tell you, I prefer waiting every week for Obi-Wan, or waiting every week for The Boys, or waiting every week for whatever, because when you get Netflix, of course, who doesn't love when they're on a flight or when they're sick or something to binge something? But at the same time, the element of surprise of it, imagine every Marvel movie just came out at the same time.
I mean, it would be awesome, but it would suck more than be awesome.
But imagine when you finally finish them in the 2, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, a month, whatever. Once you're done with all of it, there's no element to, oh my God, I can't wait till Black Panther comes out. Oh my God, I can't wait until, Doctor Strange comes out, Thor, whatever it is. That element is gone, So
100%.
It's got the goods and bads. I was also going to really quickly, I don't know if you're down for this. I think for the next component of what we're about to do, we should do it as 2 thumbs, we loved it. 1 thumb, it was okay. Middle thumb, negative thumb, all the way down for a trailer or an announcement or whatever it might be.
Fine with me. I like it.
Perfect.
All right. So with that being said, let's move on to our main topic, which, if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail or the title of this episode, it was all about San Diego Comic-Con 2022 that just happened recently. We apologize since we were only doing 2 episodes a month. All this news is relatively not old. It's still new, but it happened a little while ago. We're here to talk about it now. That's all that matters. So everything that basically got announced that was important to us, we'll be talking about from San Diego Comic-Con. A lot has happened, not even just from the Marvel side, but there were some things DC, which I'll get into, and then there were some things. There were some things that wasn't even DC or Marvel, which is the first thing I want to bring up. So Keanu Reeves actually surprised everyone on stage. I don't know if it was Hall H, which is like the main big hall, but Keanu Reeves surprised everyone on stage and revealed the first trailer for John Wick Chapter 4. Now, I only seen the first 2 John Wicks. I didn't see the third one, which I believe was called Parabellum. But I was still interested in it. I made a reaction video for it. And it looks pretty good. It looks like classic John Wick, which is really, I think, all that anyone could ask for. So I don't have much to say on it, but I will say I did enjoy the trailer. I am excited for the movie. And it was a nice little treat for Keanu to surprise them on stage over there and show this trailer as like a little nice present,
Yeah, I'll give it like a 3.5.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty excited for it. I think at this point it seems like this would be the last one, but I think maybe they could stretch it out to 5. Like, I think it makes more sense to probably do like 5 or 6 financially because these movies do so well in the box office and so well.
Yeah.
So, we'll definitely see. And like, I think we've talked about, like, I love that John Wick does his own stuff. So I love that he's putting in the work for these movies, which makes me a little bit more interested.
Like the stuff you're talking about, right?
Yes, correct. But like, all in all, I'm more excited for other things to come. But this was, like you said, a nice excitement. And I'll also say, too, because I don't think we have it on our list, but everything that came out Star Wars-wise, I'm pretty excited about.
So did they even have stuff from Star Wars?
It was like, I'm not saying Comic-Con because I'm saying it as, what was it, D3 or D23 or whatever. There was, or was it Star Wars Celebration? Regardless of whatever it was. Mando season 3 trailer leaked parts of it. Andor trailer had some stuff. They had a couple things there. So like, there's been a couple of leaked things that I've seen there. Again, pretty excited. We'll see as it comes down. A lot of haters on the Star Wars side right now, so you can all screw off because like at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I'm enjoying the content so far, in my opinion.
Word. Well, it's glad to hear that from a Star Wars fan. As long as you're happy with it, it's all good.
Yes, sir.
All right. So for John Wick, I would give it. So wait. So this was like excellent, right?
No, excellent.
Okay.
3.5 is like great.
I'll do thumb and a half.
Okay.
I'll do thumb and a half. I thought it was a good trailer, and it the point of a trailer is always just to put your excitement level to the next notch, and that's exactly what it did.
Exactly.
So, there's that. Before we get into all the Marvel stuff, we're going to talk about one thing DC, and no, it's not the little sneak peek of Black Adam that they showed, because one, it was mostly all the same footage, and 2, it was really short. I didn't even make a reaction video to that little trailer they showed for it. Besides that, the opposite of Black Adam, Shazam, his new movie's coming out, which is Fury of the Gods. It comes out December 21st, 2022. I'm actually going to give it 2 thumbs up. I say that because I really enjoyed the first movie, and this trailer just proves that it has the same tone and it seems to be like the same style of comedy and all things of that nature, action, everything like that. I thought that, so the 2 thumbs up is for the trailer being very good. Am I extremely excited for the movie? No. not really. In fact, past Shazam, DC did terrible at Comic-Con this year.
No, you don't say. You don't say.
Yeah,
DC
and
didn't do well.
part of it actually wasn't even their fault this time. It was Ezra Miller's fault because we were supposed to get a bunch of Flash content. But they delayed that from happening because Ezra is being a mess up right now. But
I think mess up is being like nice.
Oh, it definitely is being nice. I was about to say the F word, but I was like, you know what? I'll actually hold off on saying that.
He's being an idiot. He's being an idiot. So
he's being an idiot indeed. Yeah. So it's a shame that we could, especially for the big Flash fans who also like Ezra Miller as Flash. I don't really like him that much as the Flash to begin with. But yeah, it sucks that they couldn't do that. But otherwise, DC really had a pretty weak showing at Comic-Con this year.
I'll go ahead and give it like this.
Okay.
Like it's not here, but it's not a thumb up. And it's only because, again, number one, you know how I feel about DC. I think Shazam kind of proved a lot of people wrong with being a funnier, light-hearted kind of a show and or a movie. And I think it did a good job. I just think and I think this movie will do pretty well. It's just when I sat there and watched it, nothing made me go, wow, if that makes any sense. Like I sat there and I watched it and I was like, okay, this just looks like they put it together. Like to me, I didn't see a big bad and I didn't see like oh my God, like this is their next step. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the content was pretty good. And like, I understand they've got all the other heroes and he's trying to bring everyone together. Like it looks like a fun time, but I didn't see, I guess I'm at this point with DC now where I'm like hoping or waiting for them to like introduce the new bad, right? Or introduce someone that even I know, and I'm not really well versed in DC, but like you got to start tying this stuff in because like, I mean, they're behind. They're behind, dude.
Behind is an understatement.
And that's where I guess like, that's where for me, I'm like, I watched it. I was like, okay, that was fun. Like, and that's about the extent of it. You know what I mean? Like I won't really revisit it. I'll see it when it comes out. And I'm I'll let it go there. But I was like, okay, I'm okay with that right now. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. I mean, Shazam's big bad is Black Adam. So hopefully at the end of Black Adam or at the end of this next Shazam movie, they'll show that there is some definite connection between the two, and maybe it'll be a tease for a matchup between the two.
I think that itself will be great because I think that what is it? Is it Zach Levine?
Zachary Levi is playing Shazam. Yeah,
so him and Dwayne Johnson, I feel like will have great chemistry enemies wise.
I think so too.
I think that'll be the really good part of it. So I think like that'll be fun. But right now, like again, like you said, right, like it would have been perfect to have done a bigger Black Adam reveal as well, but they didn't. So it's like, okay, you got one thing and the exact same teaser with a little bit longer with nothing else to the other. So it's pretty expected for DC now, in my opinion.
Right. Last thing I'll say about DC, I even tweeted this too. I don't know if you saw it, but I laugh at all the people who are hyping up Henry Cavill showing up to Comic-Con announcing more Superman content was coming. We're talking about Warner Brothers here, okay? They don't care what the fans think. It's really a shame. Yeah. And I knew he wasn't popping up, but so many people got excited about it, man. It was like, oh my God, Henry Cavill is going to pop up. I'm like, listen, I'll see it when I see it. That's all it is. I'm not hyping myself up for something that might not even happen.
Dude, I think he has COVID.
Does he?
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he's the Witcher, so they had to halt production on the Witcher right now because he has COVID, so they had to stop shooting.
Okay.
That's regardless, though, the other thing, right? Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't think it was happening regardless.
You know what they should do, honestly, at this point? Like, if I was Marvel, I'd be trying to poach him as much as possible. Just give him a role in Marvel.
100%.
You'll kill it in Marvel, and then all the DC people will cry themselves to sleep, and that's all I want in my life.
Little spoiler from Thor: Love and Thunder, but Henry Cavill really should have been the one popping up as Hercules at the end. I think he would have been a sick Hercules, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, all right. DC shit in the bed as always. Let's move on to the good stuff now. All the Marvel stuff. So we got 3 trailers that were released. Before we get into the Phase 5 reveal and the Phase 6 reveals, there were 3 trailers that were released. The first one, kid show, I Am Groot. It looks cute. I'm glad that it's not canon. They kind of confirmed that through the trailer. They're kind of just like shorts, like they kind of did with Toy Story. They did those Toy Story shorts. I think it'll be good for kids. I think there's only like 5 or 6 of them that are coming out, and that'll be that. Looked pretty good. I kind of give this that because I don't know if I'm really gonna watch it, you know. Yeah. But yeah.
I would give it a thumb, maybe a little bit more, and I only say that because it's just Disney doing what they do best. They're selling. Like, you can't, again, I love Groot. I think he's an awesome character, but like, you know who else loves Groot? Kids. Like that's the appeal to it. The toys,
especially baby
selling.
Groot.
So yeah, it'll be pretty. Oh God, that was almost destructive, that burp. It'll be good to see. It's exciting stuff to kind of see where they'll be at with it. But it'll be fine. I'm not super excited about it, but it'll be like it's decent, right?
Yeah. Next trailer, which I was really hyped towards the end of it.
Which I was surprised at because I didn't think you would be that interested in it.
Well, I wasn't interested in the idea of this She-Hulk show when they first announced it. I was like, all right, now they're really reaching far into the comic book lore to just grab characters and make content out of it. But I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed the first trailer that came out a while ago. And the second trailer kind of blows the first trailer out of the water, in my opinion, because of the cameos we see, like Wong and Daredevil at the end. Bro, I was so hyped to see him at the end.
No way.
And no way. And I expected there was going to be some sort of confrontation between the two because they're both lawyers. I didn't think we were going to see Daredevil in costume necessarily in the show, but it looks like we are. And it's also great that he's sporting some yellow in his costume too, like his original costume in the comics. So besides those cameos, though, the show seems like it's going to be like making fun of itself a little bit because of how ridiculous the main character is in a sense, like, and her breaking the fourth wall, for instance. I think that was very good on Marvel's part because she actually does break the fourth wall as well in the comics, so like Deadpool in a sense. But I'm sure she's not going to be too over the top with it. And you know what? People were complaining about the CGI of Hulk and She-Hulk. I think it looks fine, man. I think it looks fine.
I understand what they're complaining about because it is a little bit like slime, if that makes sense. Like it's a slime green in comparison to a regular green.
Sure, yeah.
So I see a little bit of that component there. But ultimately, I'm pretty excited for this now. I'm at like a thumb and a half, about a thumb, almost 2 thumbs, because I think this is going to do a very good job of starting that ball is rolling with, okay, now we're getting Daredevil there. Now we're getting Wong in there. Now we're getting this, because it's almost good that everything is returning to like normal life. Like there hasn't been a big bad yet. And I don't think enough people are talking about the fact that like everything just happened. And now we're in this moment of Marvel where like the big bads are like Kingpin. The big bads are obviously like the Loki stuff, but none of that's happening in like what we know. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was going to say Black Widow, but that doesn't even count. But like, the things that are going on affecting normal life, like we saw in Doctor Strange in the beginning, right? Like that one thing happened, but there wasn't like this big, big bad. There was a big, big bad, but she wasn't affecting the main story and everything going on and stuff. So ultimately, there was a lot of good to it. And I'm excited to kind of see, because what we're going to talk about in 2 things is going to make everything kind of start to really get going, if that makes sense. So
100%. I'm giving this trailer 2 huge fucking thumbs up, primarily because of Daredevil. You know, if for you guys who've been watching this pod since the beginning, I was very passionate about Daredevil coming back and everything. So I'm glad it's happening, especially with Charlie Cox back. And we'll have more to talk about that later on too in this pod. Last trailer that was put out online. Just to let everybody know, they released trailers for Ant-Man and Guardians 3 at Comic-Con. They showed it to the people at Comic-Con, but they didn't release it online. We're only going to be talking about the ones that were released online. And that last one is Black Panther Wakanda Forever, coming out this November 11th, 2022. You want to take the reins on this one first?
This shit is going to shatter the box office.
Oh, my God, yeah.
This shit is going to, I mean, deservedly so. So I'm going to make I'm not going to backtrack, but back when we first started talking about Black Panther, I said I liked the movie. I really enjoyed the movie. I've watched it again since. I love the movie. It's a phenomenal Marvel movie. I think it does an amazing job of all of these characters. I think it paints a really great story. The only thing I said back then, and I don't really, so here's my tough thing, right? I disagree with it because I still think there were better movies that year for when it came to Oscars, right? And that was my big gripe. People were saying it deserved the Oscar. I am all in for Marvel movies deserving Oscars in general. I think at this point, I think Tony Stark, you know, I think he should have already had one, in my opinion. Like, him in Infinity War and Endgame, like, I think that already is deserving of one. And at this point, it's like, if you're going to continue to do this with the Marvel shit and not give it, make a best actor, best actress for a category.
Sure.
Like, make this Marvel shit its own category if you're going to just not give it praise. I still agree that I think, and I'd have to look back and see what the movies that were going up against it were. And if I'm wrong, then I will take it all back. But this movie looks amazing. This movie looks awesome. I think we were both very skeptical on how they were going to handle this, and I think they're going to do an awesome job of it. From what I've heard, I'm not going to really, and we can probably get into this on a whole other pod. I don't know who's going to be the new Black Panther. I think it'll be interesting to see because a lot of people are saying that Michael B. Jordan comes back. And I know I don't think we liked that, but I do think I like it now. And I think I like it in the sense that he would do an amazing job of representing the Black Panther as Chadwick Boseman has passed. Like, I think if there's anyone you're going to give it to besides like a Shiri, it should be him. Or, oh my gosh, who was the woman in, nope, I'm not even going to attempt.
Who, just to take a guess, Okoye?
Okoye, yeah.
Shown from Walking Dead?
No. Who is the one in Jordan Peele's other movie? She was the other.
Oh, in Us?
Yes.
I don't know her name, but she was fantastic in Us.
Lupita Nyong'o?
Yes.
Oh, yep. What a pull. What a pull. But I had watched a couple things, and apparently they're saying that she might be the Black Panther, and I actually wouldn't hate that either. I think if they set it up to be someone else, that'd be awesome. But I'm also okay with Killmonger just coming back and becoming like a good guy, or almost like a
vigilante anti-hero sort of deal.
Thunderbolt. Right, put him in the Thunderbolts kind of a situation. Oh, I wonder if we're going to talk about that. But ultimately, dude, I'm as many fingers up as possible. I think the visuals of this movie look amazing. I think Neymar looks amazing. I think the storyline is going to be great. I think this is. I think they're doing a fantastic job with this movie. And I think this will be considered a top 10 Marvel movie all time. That's my guess. Black Panther is also up there as well. So.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. And it's so funny for me. It's actually a little crazy that, like, my excitement for this movie was pretty low because, I said my position on the pod before about this. I think they should have recasted Chadwick. I understand that they didn't. I don't think it's a bad choice that they didn't, but that was my personal opinion on it. But I'm telling you what, this movie is going to be that much stronger because of his passing and everything like that. It's going to be very emotional for sure. And I think the story is going to be incredible too. I could kind of tell you already who is going to be the next Black Panther because I read yesterday that, like most toy companies always do, they're always spoiling something. They're marketing toys for the movie before the movie comes out. They're saying it's Shuri right now. They are saying it's Shuri, which I don't have a problem with. I think it's a good choice.
No, I love that.
I do like the Killmonger choice as well. And plus, because I believe it's confirmed actually that he's back in some sort of role in the movie. So I don't know what it is, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I'd love if they gave him like I'd love if they gave him like some kind of a cyborg upgrade. Like, didn't he get stabbed in the stomach or something like that? Like if he was like just like robotic in the stomach, or I don't remember what happened in the exact fight, but
he got stabbed somewhere. Yeah. And that was it. I think it was.
I do really quickly also, because I know we're moving this along. I do have to disagree with you though on the recasting, and I only say that because like if he was gone out of the movie and just didn't want to do it anymore, I get it. Then you pivot to this situation. But I think how they're handling it by him dying in the movie in I think it's going to be a very like a respectful way. Yeah. I think it's the best way to do it in the sense that you are going to set up how this all works. You're going to set up the situation where you can have a Shuri Black Panther and a Michael B. Jordan Black Panther or some affiliation of it, without then going and making a whole new actor, because like we talked about last, it's tough for you to go and put this is the new actor that's playing him and we're not going to talk about it because, like I said last time, look what they did with Hulk. Look what they've done with Superman. Look what they've done. There's been all these War Machine, and War Machine was early stages, so they got away with it now because look at now, Don Cheadle is there.
Yeah.
But if you do it with Marvel holds themselves to a higher standard. They just won't. So I like that they didn't, and I like watching this trailer and seeing how they're going to do it, because there's not many people like your core people you should not be doing it for. You should not be recasting them in general. But in my opinion, Chadwick Boseman is one of those people you can't now, because of the impact he had, because of the amazing things he did for everyone and everything on the show. And I mean, just the battle that he put up with it and didn't tell anyone is the most honorable thing I've ever seen. And people are going to say it's selfish, but for him to do that and battle and do everything he could, I mean, that's in my opinion so sick. But that's my take with it. So it's 100 thumbs for me, 1,000 thumbs for me.
2 big thumbs up for me as well. If I had more thumbs, I would be putting them up. Last 2 things I'll say about the trailer. The music was fantastic.
Yep.
And what was the last thing I was going to say? I honestly forgot. So we'll just leave it as that, I think. All right. Now we're going to move on to the Phase 5 reveal. They did reveal that Black Panther Wakanda Forever will conclude Phase 4, and then we'll be moving on to Phase 5 starting on February 17th, 2023. We have an already announced movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Like I said, they did show a short trailer for it at Comic-Con. Wasn't released online, but I did see a leaked thing of it. And there's great 2 lines in it where Ant-Man says, "I'm an Avenger," and Kang says, "Oh, really? Well, I'm a conqueror." And just that alone has me psyched, just reading those words that was said.
Yeah, I think he even said something along the lines of "Oh, did I kill you already?"
He might have.
Yeah, I was reading a thing about it, and again, like I said, the trailers were then immediately taken down, but if we dig a little bit now, I think there's a good chance they'll probably resurface to a degree.
Yeah.
But there was like apparently a crazy line where he's like, "Do you know I'm an Avenger? Like I fought with whatever." And he's like, "Oh, that's crazy. I'm literally your daddy." Basically, is what he said. And he was basically like, "Yeah, like, did I kill you yet?" Like knowing again, him knowing everything. So I think Jonathan Majors is about to absolutely kill it. I think they're setting him up better than they did Thanos in the sense that he's getting more content, if that makes sense. Because originally we were getting teased with Thanos, but like we weren't getting teased with Thanos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like Jonathan Majors is in Loki. Jonathan Majors is about to be in Quantumanium. He's going to be in Secret Invasion. He'll be in Loki season 2. So
is he going to be? I don't know if he's going to be in Secret Invasion though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna give it the announcement in general about a 2 thumbs up because I think everything from starting at Phase 5, especially Secret Invasion and Guardians, I'm gonna give them all 2 thumbs up because I think I'm just ready for them, and I think Phase 5 is going to do an awesome job with everything that we didn't like in Phase 4, and I think Black Panther ending Phase 4 is going to be what is needed.
Very strong. Yeah.
I think it's exactly what they need to go into Phase 5, but I'm more just at this point hoping that it is something big at the end of it, almost like a cutscene, end scene. I hope we get some announcement with who another big bad is going to be in the end of Black Panther, because I think they need to end off strong with November, December, January, February with a 4-month break of like the content. I think you got to do something, but that with Guardians Volume 3, I mean, I don't even think we need to talk about Guardians Volume 3 because
I'll say one thing about it once we get up to it, but which is soon anyway.
Secret Invasion I'm excited for too because I think it's gonna be different, and I'm that's why I'm excited for it. So
yeah, they're describing it as like an extreme political thriller, which is interesting. Knowing what the comic line kind of is, like the storyline, I mean, in the comics to it. Obviously, it's going to be a lot different than the comics because they, Cap is dead, Iron Man's dead. Like it was supposed to be the big reveal that Captain America was a Skrull the whole time, sort of deal. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to do that with any character necessarily. They might. I don't know what they're going to do, but I don't think it's going to be that. But that was next up on the list. That was going to be in spring of 2023. Then it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming out May 5th, 2023. It was already announced already. We knew this was coming. All I'll say about that is they did show footage at Comic-Con, and apparently the whole cast and crew were in tears. So I think that's also going to be a very emotional movie. James Gunn even said this is the conclusion of Guardians, or at least this team of Guardians. So we'll see what happens there. I, like you, very excited. 2 thumbs up for that as well.
And the one other thing I will really quickly say about Secret Invasion, my predictions are War Machine, Miss Marvel, or War Machine, Captain Marvel, or Moss? Who's the guy that just passed away? The
General Thunderbolt Ross?
Yes, Ross.
For Secret Invasion?
For a Skrull, because I think that would be the perfect way to also honor his passing. Where I think the main objective was to make him a Skrull. I think that's what they had talked about. I thought that's what I had read. So it's almost like if you make him a Skrull, then you can very much say he passed away years ago and this person has been in charge ever since. And it doesn't, like you said, it's a big enough announcement that we're going to see, he's in charge of the Thunderbolts and no one knows, and or doing whatever. So, big thumbs up there. I was going to say, I don't know if you want, let's read off these ones that are coming, and then we can say which one we're most excited about and if we want to touch on anything.
Sure.
Echo Season 1, Loki Season 2, The Marvels movie, Blade movie, Ironheart Season 1, and Agatha Season 1. So those are all of our things we're getting in 2023, also all part of Phase 5, correct?
Yes, correct.
Echo, I'm intrigued about. Loki, I cannot wait for. I think Loki's going to be awesome. The Marvels, I'm at this point, I think everyone's kind of done with it, but I think after Secret Invasion, I think it could be pretty good with the content we're going to get. So I'm excited and intrigued with it. Blade is going to be sick. I can't wait. I think that's going to be an awesome interlude to kind of what's going on in the nitty gritty, almost like the B side of Marvel. It's not like your main team. It's like your B guys, but it's going to be sick, badass. Ironheart is going to be sick after seeing what happens with Black Panther. So I'm very excited to see how Ironheart plays out. And Agatha was an amazing character in WandaVision. So I can't wait. So I give everything a 2 thumbs up. The Marvels, I give a 1 thumbs up to, just because at this point, I think those characters are kind of to me. But everything in here, I think, is very intriguing as to what will happen, if that makes sense. So I think I'm very excited to see all of that.
I am with you on all that. If anything, the ones that I'm the least excited about are Echo, the Marvels, and Ironheart. But Ironheart, we're gonna see make her debut in Black Panther, so that could easily change my mind. But I agree with everything else that you said.
Yeah, I think I'm like the great thing about Marvel, and like I think people need to realize, is like there's going to be bad content. Like, of course, like they can't make everything the best movie ever. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's Disney, so Disney's always going to want to leave room for the heavy hitters and the main things. But I think, I mean, like the reason there's, in my opinion, there's absolutely no argument to be had over DC and Marvel. There's an argument to be had in the comics if you really want to. By all means, I'm fine with it. But there's no argument to be had where, like, you literally are going to have B-level people, Echo, Ironheart, the Marvels, if you really want to call it that. All of these, even Ant-Man, look at what Ant-Man's about to have. Ant-Man is considered a B-level guy, and he's literally going up against Kang.
Right.
Like, the fact that this is all happening, and even like what we're going to talk about after this, all of these things, dude, are... It's not even close to me, in my opinion. So, like, even like you said, right, I'm not excited for Marvels. I'm not excited for Echo as much. I'm not excited for Ironheart as much. They're still going to be sick. Like, just
they're
to
still
see
going to
what
be
they're
good,
doing.
and I'm still definitely watching them no matter what. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I'll read off the last 3 for Phase 5.
Let's do it.
All right. So, we left off with Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Next up is going to be Daredevil Born Again, Season 1 in spring 2024. Then it's
Wipe the tear away.
What?
Wipe the tear away.
Yeah.
I know you're crying.
Then it's Captain America, New World Order on May 3rd, 2024. And then Phase 5 concludes with Thunderbolts on July 26th, 2024. Now, when it comes to the most excited out of those 3, it's clearly Daredevil Born Again. And the fact that they're breaking the 6-episode cycle, which I hate for these Marvel shows. They're instead doing 18 freaking episodes for this show, and I couldn't be happier. Everyone couldn't be happier. I think it's fantastic. I think this is really going to flesh out the story, and they're going to take their time with the story instead of packing it and rushing it into only 6 episodes. I think it's a phenomenal idea.
I wonder how they're going to release them, because 18 episodes is like 4 months.
Yes, I read that too. I'm like, wow, yeah, they're right. And they might do a thing where they release maybe like the first 2 or 3 episodes at the premiere date. Kind of like what they did with WandaVision. They released the first 2 episodes on its premiere date.
Yeah, I would imagine that's going to happen. I'm excited for this too. I'm 2 thumbs up with it. I always liked Daredevil. I always just shit on it because it was part of the kind of like the Agents of Chaos, which was the first fucking part of the nonsensical. That was still good, but it was like Marvel's attempt at not, like, they just threw the shit at the wall and they're like, please stick, please stick, please stick.
Yeah.
And instead of like fleshing it out, they had a good thing with Daredevil and even Punisher. Like, I know you're a big Punisher guy too, but like the rest of it was like only decent. And it was like, I feel like they rushed to it to just try to get ahead of the game instead of doing it, which is the same comparison to Star Wars in doing it there. I remember what I was going to say. Did you see Moon Knight is Oscar Isaac. Did you see he recently was in an interview where they asked him about Star Wars and if he'd go back?
He said, "Hell no," right?
Yep. Like if that doesn't go to and I thought Poe was one of the only parts that I kind of like enjoyed. Like I thought he was a pretty decent character to it. Like again, I mean, he got a dog shit script and he probably sees everything that he had to do with it. But like I would have been excited because I had heard some things about them trying to do like a Poe Dameron series, and like I would have been fine with it, right? Make it another kind of Solo-esque style story of like him being even prior to him joining like the rebellion, whatever. Like before that,
Right.
I would have loved that. I think it would have been fun. I think it would have been exciting. Like I think it's a new character you can flesh out the story with, and you can add all this stuff without having to do fan service because you don't have to show C-3PO. You don't have to show R2-D2. So if you do a prequel, you can just let him rock as like he's just doing his thing. Like he only has his droid, he has whatever, and he's doing his thing. So I found that hilarious. I thought I would just comment on it really quickly. So
yeah, it is pretty funny. Yeah,
that made me laugh. But Daredevil, I'm very hyped for Daredevil. And then I know you said Captain America: New World Order. I think as much as they were a lower content thing for it, they were below what I kind of wanted them to be. I still think I was hyped because they were what was it, Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought that was still solid, and I think they did a really good job to kind of premiere everything that was taking the next steps with Sam's character, as well as what's going to be going on with Thunderbolts. So I thought that was an awesome job with it, and I'm very excited to see what comes about of Captain America. I think they're going to do an awesome job with that as well.
100%. Now, I'm not saying Falcon and the Winter Soldier was bad by any means, but it's probably one of my least favorite Marvel Disney Plus shows that they made. But with that said, the setting up of him becoming Captain America was great. I thought that was fantastic.
Yep.
And, you know, now that we definitely know Thunderbolts is coming, the introduction of U.S. Agent is also fantastic. Yep. And I believe what's the lady's name from Friends who makes the appearance?
Elaine from Friends, who is
yeah. I don't know her name necessarily, but she's supposed to be like Madam Hydra, and I think she's the one that's going to be setting up the Thunderbolts. Obviously, it seems that way, but. I think as far as Thunderbolts come along, we'll be knowing more and more members of it. Who knows? We might get a full roster lineup and who's playing them at D23 later this year when they announce more stuff. But I could only assume it's going to be U.S. Agent. I heard rumors of Taskmaster being in there as well. You know, if William Hurt was still alive, rest in peace, who plays Thunderbolt Ross, you know, they could have done a Red Hulk thing, possibly, if they wanted to go that route. And he would have been
I still think there's a chance they do Red Hulk. I just think they might pass it to someone else.
They might, yeah.
It would be pretty solid if they did it in like the right way. Again, you got to do it in the right way. I would almost prefer if he did it as like a secondary character that maybe we've seen like some of. I don't know. I was also going to say who was the one in Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Oh, Ghost.
Yep, Ghost.
I heard great Ghost choice.
Yeah, I thought that was supposed to be there as well. I'd have to double check on that, but yeah, I think there's who's the person?
I was going to say White Vision, possibly White Vision in there.
And I don't know what they're going to do with White Vision. I have no clue. I'm trying to still figure that out in my head.
I don't know.
No, and then who's the freaking? Oh my God! Why do I always do this? The guy that was just in Shang-Chi, and he's also going to be in She-Hulk in prison. The monster. It was
the monster. Oh, Abomination.
Abomination. Yeah, sorry,
I can see that as well. That might be the replacement for Red Hulk in Thunderbolt, possibly.
Yeah. I think Red Hulk, I think you could still do Red Hulk. I would love to see if in She-Hulk there was something that comes up at the end, right? We like fall in love with a character, or someone in She-Hulk is kind of like, oh, being that person. And then at the end, it's like almost like an Easter egg for either another season of She-Hulk or a Red Hulk thing where they're like, oh, I can steal this serum and become this person. Kind of like, again, I know it's the trope that keeps happening, but if you do it right, I keep feeding it to me. I'm fine with it.
I agree. All right, before we get into the Phase 6 partial reveal, I'll call it, let's do, which is, it's going to be hard, but the most excited thing, the most excited project that you have in your mind right now for Phase 5 and the least excited project that you have in your mind for Phase 5. I could tell you right now my least excited project for Phase 5, and it's Echo. I don't know why they're making the show necessarily. I'm sure it'll still be good. I just thought if, we knew she was having a show before she even made her debut in Hawkeye, and I was not necessarily impressed with the character. The actress did a great job, but the character herself, not necessarily impressed. If I had to say what I'm most excited about, it's really hard because you got Ant-Man and the Wasp with Kang showing up for the first time. You have Guardians 3. I can't wait for that. And Daredevil. So that's really hard. It's kind of a TBA right now for me, for most excited.
I would put Guardians and Ant-Man I'm very excited for, because I think Ant-Man, they can do a really good job of making Kang kind of like that guy. So I'm very excited for that. I'm excited for everything that we're going to talk about next, like really excited for, because I think they're finally going to get these last 3 things right, not including if we didn't speak about Thunderbolts enough already.
We're just talking Phase 5 right now.
Everything in Phase 6 that we heard, I'm excited for. Every single thing. I think it's going to be awesome. So those are there. But my number 1 lock is Black Panther. I think Black Panther is going to be...
Well, that's Phase 4 still.
I'm saying out of everything we talked about, if we're talking about just Phase 5, it's going to be Ant-Man or Guardians.
Okay.
If we're talking about everything, it's going to be Black Panther, and then those 2. I'm excited for Loki as well. I think Loki's going to be sick. I understand what you're saying with Echo. I think Echo can be a really good character because I really like what they did with the sign language. I think that's awesome. I think that's super, it's great to see that they're kind of giving people with these kinds of, I don't want to say disabilities. If I'm incorrect with saying that, I apologize. But I took sign language for 2 years. I loved it. I think it's something everyone should know. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was really great to put that in light there. And again, I very much stick with the same mindset of you can do a Thunderbolts, and then you can also do something else with all of these secondary characters.
Sure.
So you can literally do a Echo, this person, and almost make them a policing force for all I care, right? Make them a subdivision of when you have the cops and then you have the military, right? So the Marvel is the military, the Avengers are the military, they're the big guns. But everything that's just going on with Kingpin, going on with this person, going on with that person, you can pass that off to Echo, Ironheart, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So I think they can set it up where they can have it as 2 divisions of Thunderbolts and something else. Because again, it's you're going to need a cast of good guys that have semi-powers, where you could even put Echo in with Young Avengers, right? Let the Young Avengers be Echo, and then a couple other people. And then just from that point, you can then pivot to, okay, they're going to be the main Avengers after it's heated off and dies.
Right. Okay. I agree with you with the Black Panther thing. Overall, with everything, I'm with you there on that as well. And I agree with you with the Echo stuff, the Young Avengers, all that stuff. All right, let's get into our Phase 6 partial reveal review. First thing we got up for it is Fantastic Four, which releases November 8th, 2025. Let's just talk about that real quick before we get into the big ones.
Take 3.
I'm excited for Fantastic Four. They clearly delayed it. This was supposed to come out like before Blade and a lot of these other projects.
Yep.
I don't think nothing is necessarily going wrong. I think they're actually going to do Fantastic Four justice this time around. But they did lose the Spider-Man director, John Watts, a little while back. So maybe that's what they're working on. Maybe they already have a director. They're going to announce the director and cast at D23. But yeah, excited about it. I think, I would assume they're going to introduce Dr. Doom, which, he's not just a Fantastic Four villain. He could very well just be an Avengers villain too. And I think that'll be, if he is introduced in Fantastic Four, which I'm sure he will be, it'll be a good introduction into Phase 6.
Any guess on who you think it'll be?
I
saw someone say Bryan Cranston, and I love that.
As Dr. Doom? No, Doom would have to be the same age as the Fantastic Four, though. He would have to be, because they all go on the space mission together. I don't know.
Yeah, but who knows what they're going to do now? I mean, I at this point, I have no clue who they're going to cast. I think it'd be hilarious if they did like Miles Teller as Dr. Doom, like just completely pivot him from oh, he was in this, now he's not in the next version we made. But did you see that they're not doing Reed Richards as apparently John Krasinski? Did you see that?
Apparently he is. Is that what you just said?
Oh, I said he wasn't. I read something that apparently they were still looking into actors for the role that are at a younger age. So then I saw and I read a whole bunch of things that were saying people were like scared and skeptical because they're like, what do you mean? You know what I mean?
Well, the person that I watch on YouTube, his live episode, he does a live episode every day during the week. His main topic today is, did John Krasinski just confirm that he's Reed Richards? So I don't know necessarily what that's all about, but that's why I'm only saying that it's like kind of confirmed that. I mean, I don't know. He was okay in Multiverse of Madness. They didn't give him much to do, so
of course not.
You couldn't really see the potential. But I still wouldn't mind if he was Mr. Fantastic. And if the wife,
Emily Blunt.
Yeah. If Emily Blunt is Sue Storm, I mean, the fans would go crazy. Everyone
the fans would go insane.
The fans would go crazy for that. Yeah. And then there was also rumor that the Thing was going to be played by the guy from How I Met Your Mother, Jason Segel, I think his name is.
Yes, correct. Jason Segel.
It's rumored that he's the Thing, and then who knows for Human Torch. But I actually like the idea of Miles Teller being Dr. Doom, because Miles Teller is a fantastic actor.
Agreed.
Fantastic
100%.
actor. So if they bring him back and give him a second chance like they did with Michael B. Jordan, you know what I mean? Like, come on, you got to do it.
I would love that as well. I think like at this point, Miles Teller would also be great because I think he can definitely do it. And I think he's, I think he's the right guy to put in that role. But again, there's probably a billion people that we're thinking of. Who knows? They probably are going after someone that we don't know.
Yeah.
But I think if we could do a whole pod on people that deserve a second chance at Marvel or people that we want to see in Marvel, I think he's on the top of my list.
100%. All right, now there's the two last things, the two really big things. I really didn't think they were going to reveal this at Comic-Con, but they did. We got Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, coming out on May 2nd, 2025, and then Avengers Secret Wars on November 7th, 2025. Two things I want to point out about this. We're going to be getting 2 Avenger movies in 1 year. Fucking awesome. But not only that, Phase 6 is going to start and end in only 1 year.
Yeah.
All in 2025. So it's going to be a short phase, which is very interesting. Meanwhile, they show the whole slate of Phase 6, and they have dates for stuff, but it's all unannounced projects still. Who knows what they'll be? I would assume it's like a Shang-Chi 2 or whatever. Yep. But anyway, speaking of Shang-Chi, they did just announce the director for Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and it is the Shang-Chi director. I don't know his name exactly, but Shang-Chi was easily the best movie of Phase 4 besides Spider-Man No Way Home, in my opinion. So, I think it's a fantastic choice.
Can I put a hot take and say that I think Black Panther is going to be better than Spider-Man?
It very well could be. But you want to know what? Spider-Man was a lot of fan service. That's why it was that good. Black Panther is going to be a very different circumstance. And I think you're right.
Yeah, I think when we look back at it, we will rank it that way. That's my opinion. But I can't wait. I think this stuff is all going to be sick. I think personally, thinking about Phase 6, I think Phase 6, they're just going to yeet off a whole bunch of people and leave everyone in shambles. And that's why I think it's going to be so quick, because I think it's almost going to be either showing Kang or Doctor Doom's power. And it's going to be just the fact of like those being one of those motherfuckers being as powerful as possible, and them just being like, yup, didn't take us 6 years to do this. It took us 1. You know what I mean? And obviously they'll flesh it out in a way of doing it right. But I'm also interested to see, because I was thinking about it too. It's like we're talking about who else is going to get recast. What's going to happen with Silver Surfer? Another huge Marvel Fantastic Four character that is a huge component of what is to come. You know, so I'm very excited because, again, you know, if everyone hasn't seen now, mutants are confirmed in the MCU as of Miss Marvel, right? Miss Marvel?
Yes. Yeah.
And also, as we've seen with Black Panther, Namor. Namor is a mutant. So, you know, I think they're doing a good job of kind of slowly introducing this stuff to us. Yeah. I'm excited to see where they will go with it. I think it's going to be an awesome job on their part of kind of piecing these things together and making us understand the storyline. And again, it's like they're just doing an amazing job. So I'm just all in all like fucking super over it.
I agree. I will say though, as far as, you know, the first official Easter egg of X-Men being in Miss Marvel, you know, spoiler alert, like it, you know, one of the last lines of that show is like, Kamala, like, you know, your genes are like mutated, you know, and then you hear the X-Men music. I think we're going to see all these little seeds planted with Miss Marvel, Namor, but I don't think we're going to see an actual X-Men project until Phase 7.
I agree. I think X-Men is going to get involved in one of those Secret Wars situations. Or the only other thing I could say is Fantastic Four. Those are the only two ways and the one thing we didn't talk about that they've been saying, did you see Deadpool 3 possible? Did you see that leaked info?
So Deadpool 3, who knows? Like, they didn't say anything about that at Comic-Con. Who knows if that's going to be canon to the MCU? Maybe they keep that standoffish. Maybe they just keep that separate. Who knows?
At this point, I don't want that. Just put everything in, man.
I agree.
If you're going to do Groot stuff, that is okay. Cartoons, comic-y stuff, little adventure stories, do it. I don't care. Like, What If? They did What If a great job. I didn't even watch all of What If, but What If was good.
Yeah.
I Am Groot, same thing, do that. Don't give me Deadpool and tell me he's not relevant to the story. Don't do that, because that's not that's shot. You know what I mean? Like, come on, give me Deadpool.
Plus, he's like one of the easiest characters you could probably introduce into the MCU that already had his own movies in another universe.
You can just throw him in so easily.
Throw him in so easily. It could be a joke. We've said this on the pod before. It could just be as simple as a joke said in the movie. It's like, oh, I get, you know, Deadpool saying, oh, I guess I'm in this universe now due to the Disney overlords, you know, like something like that. They could easily do that.
It's so easy to do it, and I think they're going to do it, but we'll
might hear something at D. We might hear stuff at D23 for it.
Would you rather Miles Teller play Doctor Doom or Wolverine?
I think I would still go with Doom.
Okay.
I would like the guy Tagar Egerton. He's the guy who
Taylor Edgerton.
What you say?
Taylor Edgerton? Isn't his name Taylor Edgerton?
No, it's like Tagar or something like that. It's not Taylor. but he's the main guy in
he's Rocket
Kingsman.
Man and the Kingsman.
He's Rocket Man. Yep, he's Elton John. Yeah,
Yep.
So I think he would be a good Wolverine, actually. You know?
I heard that too. I forgot where I heard that. That might be
That's where I got the idea in my head. I saw that somewhere else too. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, last things I'll say about this is that Secret Wars I kind of knew was coming.
Yeah, of course.
It was very highly rumored. But I am surprised about this whole Kang Dynasty movie, to be honest with you. I didn't think they were going to announce that. I didn't think they were going to announce any Avenger movies at all at Comic-Con. I thought they were saving it all for D23. But I guess not. And to top it all off, you know, we had the Infinity Saga phases 1 through 3. They finally titled phases 4 through 6 the Multiverse Saga, which is awesome. I mean, it's expected, yes, but now that we actually got a label on it and a clear direction of where we're heading, that's all I could ask for.
That's all we want.
Yes, sir. So I would say this Comic-Con was extremely successful for Marvel, you know, and yeah, that's all I'll say. That's all I got.
Obviously, and everyone can keep posted with us here because hopefully we will be at Comic-Con in October. I think that's our goal, to try to get back at least one day.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, I don't think we'll get anything crazy-wise news, but it'll definitely be a good time, in my opinion, with getting some stuff.
100%. Well, we could do a little video vlog for it, for Comic-Con. And like you said, there's not going to be any heavy hitting news going on there, but it'll still be a good time and whatnot there in October. So
That's it.
That is it. All right, guys. So, you know, what do you think about all this news? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at @Ferank_videos. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day and peace out. And what's going on, everybody? We are logging on to episode 101. It is our first episode back. That rhymed there. Wow. We are planning on doing 2 episodes a month, so really every 2 weeks we'll be releasing an episode. The podcast itself, we wanted to change the name, because if you look up hot takes on Google, there is a lot of podcasts, like a lot of different type of shows that's called hot takes or some sort of rendition of it. And that's when you came out with the good idea, using an old nickname of yours, Log, right?
When I was little, my brother used to call me Gog. It was G-O-G. That was just like our nickname of the two of us. And then when he figured out there was an L in it, he used to call me Log. And then everyone in my family like forgot about it. And then a couple years later, my dad was watching like a home video and remembered. And now I just go by Log to like all of our close friends, all of my family. And like logging on was our big thing. We were like, well, let's log in or log on to what's going on. And